Rock and Roll Trucker.
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Trucker, the channel that likes to rock and roll, the channel that likes to play. We love to eat, we love to truck, we love to see the world around us and just have a big old time. Come on in and have a seat, let's have a good chat. We'll tell you where we're going, we'll tell you where we've been. Yes, that is me playing the music.
Good Monday morning, everybody. Yeah, Mondays. We talked about that last week, though. I'm not going to trash Monday. Monday gets picked on a lot. I'm not going to say I love Mondays, but, what's the use? Why pile on Monday's misery? Here we are. We're closing in on Atlanta. I'm a well-documented Atlanta hater. And I went through one little patch of traffic back there for an accident. It looks like we're slowing down again for something else up here. Just a miserable place to drive through, just a miserable place to go, a miserable place to be as far as I'm concerned. I have no use for Atlanta as far as being a truck driver goes, but I can't avoid it. Man, I hate coming down here. Just you never know what or why or for how long you're going to get stopped. But you know you're going to get stopped, you know you're going to get clogged up. Just, there's life, death, taxes, and traffic in Atlanta. Just the way it is, y'all. I don't get it. I don't know why I don't know why people want to live like this. Human beings just flock all to the same places and just pile up on top of each other everywhere. And just bring the world to a halt and build ugly stuff everywhere. But I digress. We must truck through Atlanta, especially from down here. It's unavoidable as a truck driver to begin with, and then especially from the geographical location of which I reside in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's impossible to avoid messing with Atlanta on the job. That's unfortunately the amount of just productive hours that are lost from trying to pass through this city from one side to the other. And it'll clog up on the north and south coming in, and it'll clog up on the east and west coming in, no matter which. It doesn't matter if you're on 75, 20, 85, all that stuff gets clogged up. 285 going around the city gets clogged up. It's just an impossible impasse on some days. We just do what we can. We know it's probably going to squeeze our time tight. We know it's probably going to ruin our day. We just try and make the best of it. But here we are, as you can see, we're basically coming to a halt. It'll probably open back up here in a minute. It'll go for a mile or two, then it'll close back up. If you've never trucked through Atlanta, you're not missing anything. If you've never driven through Atlanta at all, there's some neat stuff to do there, but is it worth the hassle? I can't be the judge of that for you, but I can be the judge of that for me. And as much as I love a lot of the stuff down here, not really worth it to me on most days. But we got a job to do. We're not going down here for entertainment. We're going down here for a very, very, very minimal amount of profit once you factor in how long we've had to sit on this load to go home. And it is what it is. We're going to try and make a good day of it no matter what. No matter what. Being miserable is stupid. You can't fix the stuff around you, but you can fix your attitude on how you take it, I suppose. And I'm guilty of not taking things very well. I get angry, frustrated, just wound up, full of anxiety and piss and vinegar at all times, a little more often than I should. I know it's not good for my health, but just was born with that personality and those genes and that DNA, I suppose. We're working on it. Always striving to be a better person, am I right? Yeah. Well, I'm going to hop off here and deal with this mess. Try to not have blow up, come apart on the camera here. When I'm down here, it's highly likely that that's something you're going to see. We don't need that kind of ugliness on here. Positive vibes only. So let me get off here, and once we get around Atlanta and over to, I think we'll be on I-20, headed westbound, I do believe. We'll find out here in a bit, but I'll catch up with you when we make a little more progress onto that. We're going to try and be at our receiver by or before 10 a.m. So somewhere between now and then, I will we'll talk to you later. Well, folks, here we are again. We finally got through Atlanta, got on the 20, started heading easterly a little bit there, and we've run into another big slowdown. It was showing red on the map, then I saw a big puff of smoke and just a big cloud of smoke and stuff, you know, about a mile ahead out in front of me. You can see it real prominently. And then an accident pops up as reported on the Google Maps there. So it looks like in the middle of the already slowdown, it looks like some people must have gotten tangled up into each other up here in the middle of the slowdown, maybe. Not sure, we'll find out. Or maybe just the whole entire thing's due to the another crash to begin with. But there was one just reported 5 minutes ago, and there was a big old cloud of dust and smoke. So we'll see if that was just people locking up their brakes, or if there was actually an accident in the already slowed down slowdown. It's like the Wild West out here, within about a 50-mile radius in any direction of Atlanta. It's out of control. I'm curious to see what's going on up here. I had a very minimal amount of squish time on this load this morning to get there on time, and this is not doing any wonders for me on making progress and meeting my deadline. I believe I'm going to make it. It's going to have a lot to do with this here slowdown and stoppage, though. Let's see what we got going. We're starting to move a little bit there. Oh, it's always an adventure. It's always an adventure coming into Atlanta, getting through Atlanta, and popping back out the other side out of Atlanta. Just always holds some sort of chaos. So what did y'all do this weekend? Did y'all have a good weekend? Went and helped my oldest kiddo move in to first apartment, second year of college. Moved in with some friends because the dorms and stuff this year filled up very fast at Tennessee Tech, and they gave freshmen priority, which is an odd thing to me. Like the upperclassmen with scholarships and stuff like that did not get priority, so they couldn't house all of their students that needed dorms this year, which tells me they oversold the school and are trying to put profit above the education at this point, it seems like. But what's new in this country? But decent apartment, looks like a pretty good situation, not too far from campus. Probably a better situation, actually. It was impractical, wasn't what everybody thought was going to happen, and it kind of shook things up for a bit, but it got ironed out. So kiddo back up in College Town, went to see some live music. Saturday evening we went down to the river. We've got a free concert series every Saturday. Well, we got one every Friday night downtown Chattanooga, and then a little further down on the aquarium end of Chattanooga they do on Saturday nights. There's a free concert series on Saturday nights throughout the summer, and there was a favorite band of mine called Cowboy Mouth that was playing down there Saturday night, so we went to see that. One of the most entertaining, just energetic, just great live bands that you'll ever see if you're not familiar with them. So I recommend. You can't really get the feel of them by listening to their recorded music. Some of it's pretty good, but their magic lies in the live show. So we'll go ahead and call that my musical recommendation for the day. Cowboy Mouth live show. They're from the great state of Louisiana, right there in New Orleans. Their front man, which is also their drummer, Mr. Fred LeBlanc, just a brilliant leader of a band. You've never seen he knows how to orchestrate a feel-good rock and roll show. I don't know how to put it any way other than that. You're gonna participate. You're gonna have a good time. He's gonna make sure of it. He's got a killer band around him. They sounded wonderful. They were every bit of everything I remember from back in the 90s when I saw them the first time. They haven't lost a step or a bit of energy, and it was just a really good time to see. So that's my musical recommendation for today. I'm not going to recommend their albums. I'm going to recommend look them up, and if they come anywhere near you, go see their live show. It's a must-do. Especially if they play, like if you live in a town or near a city that's got, free summer concert series stuff, absolutely go and don't miss out on that. For sure. Let me see, what do we got? We're starting to move a little bit. I still don't see an accident. The camera is overriding the map right now, so I can't tell which section of the red zone I'm in or where the accident is now, but hopefully this is not more than a mile or two, because I need to make some time up. But I hate it when it piles up like this, because then when you pop out the other side, everybody just mashes their accelerator to the floor, and it turns into Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. That chase they're doing across the barren desert there. He's running the decoy truck there. They think it's full of fuel. Just the whole entire barter town is chasing him across the desert there. That's what it seems like when you pop out the other side of a accident jam up these days on the interstate, especially around these parts. Starting to move a little here. Let's see if it clogs back up. It looked like when I was looking at it earlier, it kind of opens up for a moment and then turns right back to like dark red, unless they got it all cleaned up and ready to go here. I don't know what I was seeing as far as that big giant puff of smoke. It just must have been a truck locking his brakes up or something. But man, it was pretty impressive cloud of smoke that popped up. I really thought somebody got into another accident there with that or somebody's car had caught on fire or something. It was that big of a puff, to where it looked like it could have been a vehicle fire. But I'm about to the point where I feel like I saw that happen, and I see nothing. This must have been a brake lockup. White smoke in those tires, flat spotting them. Yeah. Somebody's going to have a bouncy trailer here for the rest of the day, if that's what that was. Well, looks like, unless we come back to a halt here, I believe we might have made it through the other side of whatever that was. It fooled me. I see some brake lights again up there. There's people just getting off the exit. I don't know. There's nothing to really give a play-by-play of now, it doesn't seem. But we knocked off another goal of the video there. We got our rock and roll trucker music recommendation there out early in the video there. And I reiterate, Cowboy Mouth live. Not recommended the albums, because although good, live is where the magic is. So that, to reiterate, that's where the music recommendation is for the day. We'll hop off here and get to moving. I gotta get this map up and start calculating just how close I'm gonna cut this and seeing where we're gonna be, and I'll be back with you. Y'all be good. I'll get you back in the jump seat here shortly. Hello again. You're back in the truck with me. We're moving, as you can tell. We had to sit around for a little while and wait, but they sent me a little short load. About a 30-mile deadhead. I'm about 5 miles away. Going to Trenton, South Carolina. Picking up, going right back real close to home for in the morning, going to Dalton, Georgia. I'd have liked to have had something, with a little bit more, a few more miles and some more revenue on it, but I mean, that's about as easy as it gets. The rate per mile, it breaks down to be pretty good. Not bad. Not the best I've ever seen, but certainly not bad. It's a shame there's not more miles on it to, account for quite a bit more revenue, but it's should be profitable revenue. We're not due to be over here till 3:30. We're gonna go up in there. It's 10 after 1 now, so it'll be 1:15, 1:20 when we get over here. We're gonna try check in early, see what happens. Sometimes these places surprise you and they'll take you right on in. You never can tell. Depends on what kind of schedule and dock they run. Some of these places do they're just calculated right down to the minute, and they won't have none of it. But we're going to try it and see. That would give us a chance to we can just about make it back to Dalton this evening. Well, it depends on how long they take to load us, but that would almost leave us enough time. We'll see what happens. It'd be nice to get all the way there, but if not, it's not very far, so if we have to stop short, we're still not driving very far in the morning. There's a there's a little bit of an open window on the delivery, according to my information there. We got about a 3 or 4 hour window to deliver, starting at I think 7 in the morning. In the perfect world, we'd have our next load lined up already, and we'd get there at 7 a.m. and get it off, go grab the next thing, and move on down the road. We'll see. Still early enough in the day where maybe they'll go ahead and line me up. But I don't know. You can't tell with these trucking companies. They're unpredictable as to what they're going to do, and it don't always benefit the driver, but maybe it will this time. Maybe it will. I'm going to try and keep you on here until we get to where we're going. You can see what I see. You can see the big place we're going. It's a place, going to US Fibers, Trenton, South Carolina. I'm not sure what it's going to be. Other than that load yesterday, every single thing I've carried has been with this company has been heavy so far, so pretty good chance it might be a heavy load, but I don't know. I might be surprised again. Like the one I just dropped off was only 6,000 pounds. That's the only one I've hauled that hasn't been heavy, so maybe we'll get that lucky again. Yeah. We're kind of, we've strayed away from the city here. We're out in the middle of soybean and cornfield land here. I guess there's an industrial park. Okay, Edgefield County Industrial Park. Yeah, well, there's a big, I don't know what kind of trees those are. Some kind of fruit-bearing or nut-bearing trees there. Not sure. A whole big grove. I don't know all my trees as well as I should. I don't know if that's a, I don't know what those are. I don't know. I'm not a botanist by any means. That I can assure you. I can tell you what kind of tree it is if I see the fruit growing off of it. That's about as good as I can get. There's some over there too. It's a groves on both sides. I'd like to know what that is. I don't know if that's, I don't know if those are in South Carolina. We're close to Georgia though. Maybe peaches, apples. Could be. What do you think? I don't know. I don't know if y'all can see them good enough to tell me. If you know what it is, if you saw it through the camera, get in the comments. Tell me what they are. I'd like to know because there's a lot of them. Where are we at? We're 1.3 miles away. Okay, here's a bunch of signs. Well, that's just for a fruit stand. I was about to say, it said something about peaches. I was like, I bet those are peach trees, but then that was just, they listed every other fruit on earth too. Shout out to Sarah's Fresh Market there. We got us a gorgeous little fruit stand. Fresh farm produce, that says. Nice little roadside produce stand. I like seeing those. Let's see. 0.9 miles. We're just about there. Pretty out here. Got a nice breeze blowing there, but it doesn't do a lot of good because it's just plain flat out hot, even with that wind blowing. You see those little flags on the side of the road for the fruit stand, and it's they're flapping. I'm sure that's helping it not be quite as offensive outside, and you can never complain about a nice breeze when it's hot outside, but it ain't gonna change the fact that it is indeed hot outside. But it's summertime. What do we expect? Happens every year, right? A little warm this year, but it's summertime. What do we got up here? We got a fuel stop. We got somewhere to park up here in case they don't take me early, maybe. Is that just a regular convenience store, or do they have diesel pumps and a little bit of parking? I bet we shouldn't be so lucky. Gas Pro. Go with the Pro, it says. Looks like there might be enough lot to pull a truck off in over there. Maybe if we need to. Alright, now 0.3 miles to destination. Well, that's a big parking lot. No, it's just a big lot. Yeah, we could. Oh, that big massive lot that says no oversized tractors and trailers on the lot. It's like, why do you have that giant part with that giant lot with truck fuel? US Fibers. Here we are, folks. Let's see. Maybe this is the right building. You can't never tell. places will fool you, and they'll have a building down the road and across the street. It's a little tight to get in here, to be honest with you. But we're in here. Shipping and receiving. There we go. There's the sign. Well, you made it here with me. I'm going to go find where I need to stop to go check in. And I will reconvene with you fine human beings again shortly. Y'all be good or be good at it until I get back here in a bit. We're going to go figure out where we got to be. Hang on. I'll pick you up in a few. Well, that was relatively painless. We weren't there for a real long time. Less than an hour, probably not even 45 minutes. They got it on. Got us out of there pretty quick. About 40,000 pounds, and I had to slide my tandems all the way. I had to put my wheels all the way up to the front. It is they loaded it real heavy on the drives. I found a cat scale, and it was right there at legal. It was I thought I had them all. Well, I thought I had them all the way back there. I thought I'd hit the bump, hit the stopper on it, and I slid them. You know, we got to the cat scale, and I was 34,100 on my drives. And I hopped out and looked, and I actually still had 2 holes to go, so we slid those, and we are golden on the weight. Yeah, we're a little heavy, a little bit of a heavy load, not a very long load, only going to Dalton, Georgia, but we got it. We got it on. We got options. We can drive all the way. Yeah, Atlanta might ruin my time on that, but I got just enough time where I can probably make it all the way there. But if I get caught in any traffic, I won't really be able to, so we may end up stopping short. But we are loaded, and we'll be on target to be there, you know, at the earliest appointment in the morning. It's getting late in the day, though. They still haven't sent me another pre-plan for the next thing. That's kind of bothersome, just to be truthful with you. That's going to have to change this week. We're on the move. We're on the move. We have crossed. We weren't very far into South Carolina. We've crossed back over into Georgia. Moving right down on the highway on I-20. We'll hit I-20 west all the way till we hit 285. We'll work our way around that cesspool of a traffic pit of a city there in Atlanta again. Yeah, yuck. Oh well. Who doesn't love to do Atlanta multiple times in one day? Yeah, yuck. We'll survive it though. We've done it many times. We'll probably do it many more times. But I'm going to drive along. I'm going to catch up on some radio and some podcasts here for a little bit. I'll catch you back around Atlanta there. Go hang out and be good, and I'll see you in a bit. On an adventure, y'all. Let's go try and get into one of the worst truck stops of all time to splash a little fuel. Coming up was a little bit shorter than I was anticipating on my fuel, and I don't want to run out sitting in traffic up on 75 in Marietta or something like that. So I'm diving off. One of my closest network fuel stops is the Pilot on 285 here in Atlanta. It's notoriously awful. Full of shady people. Nearly impossible to get in, nearly impossible to get out. With varying degrees of difficulty depending on what time of the day it is. Let's go on an adventure and see how bad it is. We are almost there. We should be closing up on exit 51 here shortly. That place is just, for the size of city and metro area that Atlanta is, their choices of places to go in trucks, it's absolutely abhorrent. It's ridiculous. Like, you got the big Petro and you got this completely useless Pilot over here on 285. That's about it. When I first started driving years back, there was an old TA, a little south of Atlanta there on the bottom off of 70. Yeah, what was the name of that place? So a lot of drivers aren't even going to remember it. If you haven't been driving for a certain amount of time, you're not even going to be. Conley, I can't remember down there, but notoriously terrible. It finally got shut down and closed up. There used to be a second Pilot that was even worse than this one on 285. I'm showing my age here on how long I've been driving. Just but awful choices around here. Awful choices. It's like you just got to pick your poison on which one you want to, which one you can stomach the most. The Petro is a little simpler. It's a lot easier to fuel at, but it's a nightmare getting in and out of that one, and you can't. Yeah, it's further around up on the top of 285 there though, and I just not real comfortable on taking a chance on getting stuck sitting still for an extended period of time for something and not being able to make it somewhere. So I'm swallowing this pill on the horrible Pilot. Yeah. I couldn't remember the name of it. That's it. Yeah, drivers. There's a lot of drivers out there that are familiar with the Pilot on the infamous Boulder Crest Road Pilot. It has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. We are using this right now just purely out of necessity, and I know it's not going to be worth it. It's awful on its own, then it's down the street with a bunch of, I think there's a Kroger's grocery warehouse down there, and there's just all kinds of stuff in the street. It's just barely wide enough for, traffic to go each way, and trucks just pile up in each direction. It's just an ugly situation most of the time. It's just always full of trouble and sketchy human beings, and any of y'all that are drivers that have been here, I'm not telling you anything. This is mostly information for new drivers that might not have ever been here before, or even drivers that have been around for a while that have never been over here. If you can avoid it, do your best to ever avoid it. It's I-285 exit 51, Boulder Crest exit, the Pilot. Just don't. It's purely out of necessity. I've years back, way back when, I had parked there before too, and overnight once or twice, and I can tell you that there is some kind of an adventure in itself too. That's just it's not a great place. Not a great place at all. Prematurely on some people there. No harm, no foul, but needed to get up to speed, get out of their way. Oh yeah, it looks like a, pardon my French, a shit show. Just I can tell already. Just getting to the fuel pumps. It's not only crowded and ridiculous, it's laid out in a manner that just is utterly useless. When you get this many trucks in one space and nobody knows how to behave and like coexist and do it the right way, it's impossible. Let's see, yeah, it's going to be I'll spend a half an hour just trying to splash 20 gallons of fuel in here, This is not going to be quick. Let's see what it's looking like. Okay, they're making us go to the back side for the entrance now. It's usually a free-for-all right here at this entrance. Yeah, look at this mess. And of course, there's going to be somebody parked bobtail lined up for the grocery warehouse right here, right conveniently where you need to make your turn, where it's going to make the turn to get in difficult. Yeah. Now, do yourself a favor. Don't come here. It's not worth it. Don't do it. It's just not worth it. Let's see. Cratered out. Oh yeah, we're backed up 3, 4, 5. And part of the problem is if you, where I just said they got the new entrance down here, they want us to come in from that way. People are still trying to come in from the front entrance and turn into the fuel islands. It don't work. You can't do it. It's not how this works. And I'm in here now. I've got no choice. If y'all can't really tell, but we're we're lined up probably 4 to 5 trucks deep here away from the actual fuel pumps, and people are trying to turn in up there. This is going to be a long process. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here because I'm not going to be speaking a lot of good words that are going to need to be on video here shortly. I know I'm going to get cut off up here 2 or 3 times before I ever make it, and 5 more trucks are going to try and turn in up there instead of doing the right thing. I'll holler back at y'all when we manage to weasel our way in here. This is just, it's really an irresponsibly built place by the Pilot Corporation, just in my opinion as well. There was just no reason to ever build a truck stop this narrow and skinny with this. I don't know what they were thinking when they slapped this thing up together. Now the trucks are starting to, we're bleeding back out into the entrance now. 2 more have come in behind me. Lord, some people's kids, y'all. I'll get back with y'all in a bit. Well, folks, it's time to call it a day. Since the last time I talked to you, we got hung up in bad Atlanta traffic again. We managed to make it to a parking spot with about 7 minutes left on our clock. We stretched it out for all it's worth. We landed somewhere in the general vicinity of Calhoun, Georgia. We're at the, I guess that's what you consider it here. Really not all that far away from home, but I couldn't go any further. I'm at exit 306 off of 75 in Georgia. Headed on the southbound direction there. Same exit number either way. I'm at the QT. I bet a lot of you have been to this QT over here, next door to the Wendy's and the Cracker Barrel. We're going down to Dalton, Georgia in the morning, where we'll be delivering. I think we're going to a Shaw Industries warehouse. We've got some sort of big bales of something back there. Whatever they are, they're heavy. And there's about a quarter of the trailer left. So there's some beefy things. Today was very much a Monday. Not exciting. Just Monday. Not gonna knock Monday, like I said at the beginning. Monday catches a lot of flack, so we're not gonna talk trash on Monday too much. But after a few days off, especially on a busy weekend, it's hard to go back. I'm pretty tired. I'm gonna sleep good tonight. That much I do know. I'm just chilling out. I made some beans and rice. Some good pinto beans and rice. A little bit of cheese on it, some hot sauce. Had me some applesauce for a little dessert. Had me a little pepperoni and cheddar cheese snack. Some water. I didn't even drink a soda this evening. I was trying to keep from buying anything in the store this evening, and I succeeded. I just turned the light back on to film this clip because I forgot I needed to finish out. I was all chilled out. I had my red lights turned on, had my little candle lit up in here. We had it all relaxing. We got it freezing cold in here with the AC. Yeah, we feeling relaxed up in here. I'm about ready to call it a day. If I sound tired, it's because I'm tired. It was a long weekend. It was definitely a long weekend. Oh, yeah. There we go. It was a hectic day dealing with Atlanta and cutting it close on delivery times and all that, and then having to deal with Atlanta again, having to deal with that horrible Boulder Crest truck stop. It was one of those typical, very frustrating trucker days today, but we made it. We made it to the end today. We'll be back up to do it again tomorrow. Go try and make some more money. That's what we got to do in this day and age. It's getting harder and harder to keep everything together and keep everything afloat, so we got to keep trying to work hard even when everything's working against us. I gave you a musical recommendation already in the beginning of this video, so no need to delve further deep into the musical philosophies of the rock and roll trucker. We don't have to go any further into that right now. You've already got your one for the day. Felt good I knocked that out at the beginning. Yeah, might do that every now and again a little more often. But I think I'm going to say good night to you all, or good morning, or good afternoon. Enjoy your breakfast, dinner, lunch. I don't know when you're watching these or where you're at, so we'll throw all those out there. And they'll all apply to somebody at some point, hopefully. Hopefully people will run across this stuff. I feel like I don't know, I guess I'm leaving my mark behind somewhere or another. My kids will be able to look back and see where I've been and what I've done one of these days, I suppose. Somewhat of a digital diary
kind of a little bit of a legacy to leave behind, I guess. Not much, but yeah, there'll be some proof that I was alive, other than a gravestone, if I'm lucky enough to get one when I'm old and gone. And yeah, I don't plan. Hopefully, I last quite a few more years, though. Hopefully, I don't have to worry about having a legacy for a long time. I'm over here just talking off the top of my head. I don't even know what's going to come out of here right now, but yeah, back to saying good night. I'm going to hit the bed, chill out, lay down. I'll fall asleep, and I'm going to rest good. Whatever y'all are doing, enjoy. Be good, or be good at it, as they say. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow. We'll go on another trucking journey. Hopefully we'll see something cool. I want to see something cool. I want you all to see something cool. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.